How many bags of maize can you harvest per acre? Some say 10, some say 20, some say 40, others even say 50, and even others sometimes 60. Yes, actually there is even a theory that you can manage to produce almost 100 bags per acre. Yes, that one is done most of the time mathematically. And yes, it's possible. I remember one time I did a trial on a quarter of an acre and we did harvest around 12 bags. Yes, 12 bags. And the neighbors were quite shocked how we managed to produce 12 bags in one single acre, while for them they have acres of land and that's the amount they produce from a single acre, So they were shocked. But all the same, at that time you can manage to find it on our guide on how you can manage to grow the best maize varieties and also how you can manage to grow them and harvest over 35 bags per acre. Now let's jump into the right amount of bags that you should or you can manage to harvest per acre. The number of bags, of course, depends on the variety, it depends on the management, it depends on how well rainfall is distributed in the region, and of course the management against pests and diseases. But if all these factors are held constant, there are these optimal numbers that you should harvest. And of course, farmers should understand that there are two types of maize varieties in Kenya. Number one, it's those that are early maturity. Yes, this one take 150 days and below to mature. And then there are other states that take over 5, 6, or even 7 months to mature. Yes. And where's the difference between the two? The longer maturity period this maize has, the more yield potential it carries. Yes. So most of these maize varieties that take over 5, 6, 7, or even 8 months to mature, most of them can manage and have a yield potential of over 40 bags per acre. For the 3 months, 4 months maturity maize varieties, most of them at most maybe let's say 35 years maximum, and if forced maybe 40 bags per acre. So all this means is that depending on the region that you have and also depending on the amount of rainfall that you have, because those regions that tend to explant the long maturity maize varieties, especially in the Rift and the Western region, they mostly do one season maize varieties, and those the regions in the Mount Kenya regions and part of Lower Eastern, most of them tend to have 2 rain seasons, the long rains and even the short rains. And for them, it's more ideal if they do the 3 months variety. Now, well, let's dive into the potential of various maize varieties. Here we shall cover the maize variety that are famous and most farmers plant, and of course, some of the ones that we tend to recommend to you when we do these recommendations on the best maize varieties to plant on different seasons. So let us jump into it. We shall begin with the long maturity maize varieties. This is 5 to 6 or even at maximum the 7 maize varieties. One, the most common, this one is the hybrid ones, the H6213 from Kenya State. This one takes around 150 to 160 days to mature. And can you imagine, it has a yield potential of up to 52 bags per acre. Yes. The second one, also from Kenya State, it's a very famous hybrid maize seed, H614. This one now tends to take longer maturity, 160 to 190 days, and with it now also tends to have a kind of low yield of up to around 38 bags per acre. We also have H629. This one takes 160 to 190 days and it can yield 48 bags. We also have a very famous one, H628. This one takes 150 to 180 days and can manage to give you 46 bags per acre. With that, let's look at the early maturity maize varieties. These are the maize varieties that take between 3 and 4 months to mature. The most famous one on the list, we have SC Duma 43. This one may take 90 to 120 days to mature, and it will give you up to 30 to 35 bags. We also have a very famous one from the same company, Sidco, SC Sungura. This one now takes, it's a very ultra early maturity maize variety. Yes, it matures very fast. Imagine within 75 and 80 days from planting, and it will give you 25 to 30 bags. These are some of the varieties that I usually do say when you're doing your economics and when you're trying to farm. There's some of which you can manage to consider. The one is DKC 989 from Monsanto. This one also tends to take 190 to 130 days and it will give you up to 40 bags. We also have DK1831. This one also kind of an early maturing variety from Monsanto, and it will give you 34 to 38 bags per acre. From Monsanto again, we also have a DKC 1833. This one tends to take 90 to 120 days, and it can manage to give you 35 to 38 bags. From Kenya Seed, we have another very good variety, and especially if you're from the dry regions, and also if your farm has clay soil, this one is a very good variety, H513. This one takes 100 to 110 days to mature, and it will give you up to 24 bags. Another very famous maize variety that has a lot of potential and tends to mature very fast is H520. Yes, it's a very good variety that I've done and I've seen it does well. This one, it has a maturity of 120 to 130 days, and it will give you up to 34 bags. Another famous, and especially for maize roasters, is Pioneer G19. This one takes between 110 and 130 days, and it will manage to give you 40 to 50 bags. Then there's another maize variety. This one is the one that I shall tell you is the sweetest. I mean, it's my favorite. Yes, Haraka WH11 from Western Seed Company. Yes, this one also takes 110 to 120 days to mature, and it can manage to give you 20 to 25 bags. Now, we also have a very good maize variety. Actually, I've really done this when we really sold this maize variety to as many farmers as of maybe Ghana. Yes, we've done this to Ghana, we've done this to Uganda, we've also done this to farmers in Tanzania. And it's a very good and dynamic maize variety that is tending to perform. Actually, it's tending to super perform. Yes, it tends to mature extremely very fast, very sweet, has good maize cob. You know, it also has some a bit of tolerance to drought. You know, I mean, it has all the qualities that makes it the best maize variety, and it's Savo V4141. This is a maize variety that is just doing super wonders. Imagine it has a maturity of 90 to 120 days, and it can manage to give you between 35 and 40 bags per acre. That's how sweet it is. And its ability to resist to drought, yeah. And most of the farmers who've done it, it's a good thing. All appreciated how well it is. It's a good maize variety from Gesheha farm, and it's just super good and super cool. Yes. So now with these farmers, then it's up to you now to select the best variety for you. Remember, to achieve this potential of these maize varieties, you have to manage them well. Yes, you have to check them out, you have to feed them well, you have to control fall armyworm, and also you have to watch out migratory pests such as locust, and you also have to make sure that the farm is clean. And you, of course, there are now the other factors of enough and well distributed rainfall. But all these factors considered, these are the numbers that you can manage to harvest per acre depending on the maize variety that you've planted. Let me see you next on the next video, where we shall be discussing how you can manage to plant this maize from seed to harvesting. Yes, and from it you can have now the complete guide on the way forward.